السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome guys. My name is Yaqut Zaman. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Enjoying yourselves. Let me go live on this as well. Alright, so Ahlan wa sahlan to all you guys over there as well who are watching. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Wa alaikum assalam Isra. Wa alaikum assalam my brother Muhammad. Just plug my phone, my charger in my phone so I can get the proper connection. Okay, proper charge. All right, so ahlan wa sahlan guys, welcome to this live stream. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. I just actually came back from a talk right now. Just got back from a talk I had. Talk was about Ramadan, so usually what happens, gotta talk about Ramadan's approaching and how we should prepare for Ramadan basically. Right, so let's get rid of this. And I've got my tea here as well. This is my lovely peach flavored tea. Mashallah, this tea is so nice. Yeah, but the only thing is, I'm thinking, does it have caffeine in there? Because I just realized many of these herbal teas or non-traditional teas, no, when I say traditional, I mean like, the normal English kind of tea, they have caffeine in there. But... all right, so let's see what kind of questions you guys have. Next week, inshallah, is the dua course, guys. Let me just put the dua course. So for those of you guys who want to attend, you can attend on site, you can attend online as well. Inshallah, it's going to be a very good course. Today, I just finished off the notes today. I mean, I could have made much longer detailed notes. But, I don't want to make the notes too long for the course. I'm thinking maybe I might slowly start writing a book. I know what you're going to say. No more books. First of all, finish off the books that you promised us. Yeah, that's true as well. So, dua course next Saturday, 11th. Here's the details. There you go. There are the details of the course pinned up at the top. All right, SA, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, SA. I hope you are well and enjoying yourself, having a nice, fantastic day. Sharif, wa alaikum assalam, my brother Sharif from America. Kya hal hai? Kayfa haluka ya akhi? Al-Kareem, Al-Habib. I was just thinking about you this week, I was thinking how cold it must be over there. Wa alaikum assalam, mashallah, Mullah, bro, miss you, man. I've been missing you. Hope you're well. Hope your new job is going well as well. What's the latest? What's the latest interesting things about your job? Hamim, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Once I was in i'tikaf and I forgot fully stepped out of the masjid to hang my towel outside. Would this break? Inshallah, it'll be fine. Inshallah. Because if Imam Hanifa rahimahullah said if a person steps out of the itikaf's broken. Sahibain say if they go out for half a day. That's why taking Imam Sahibain's opinion in that situation would be allowed, because you didn't know about it as well. But in the future, you shouldn't do it. Tahmeed, I should be there, inshallah. Yes, my bro, Tahmeed, inshallah. Miss you, man. Miss you, bro, Tahmeed. I hope you're well. Inshallah, guys. Shall I tell you what I'm going to be discussing in the dua course? Yeah, because shall I tell you what books I've been reading? Okay, let me tell you from the top of my head the books that I remember. I'll tell you later on, yeah. If you remind me, inshallah, I will tell you later on the kind of books that I've actually had to read through. And I really very, very much enjoyed reading. Alhamdulillah. I think this is where I get a lot of my extracurricular reading done, is when I have a project, like I have a course that I have to deliver, and I have to do the reading for it. That reading is something which I have to really kind of scour the books and try to find as many books as I can, yeah, on the topic. So I've written down a lot of the books. Yeah, I think it'd be best if I read it off. I don't know, my laptop's downstairs, So I'll probably, what I'll do, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll tell you the main books that I really benefit from, and the other books, I'll just give you a whole list on Telegram. Yeah, that's what I'll do. On Telegram, the whole list of the du'as, benefits of du'as, and yeah, remember I was telling you guys about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam making special du'as for certain Sahaba. Yeah, so those are also, inshallah, I'm going to mention some of those as well. There was actually over 80, I found 80 different Sahaba who the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam made du'a for. So inshallah, I'll be mentioning not all 80. I won't mention all 80 because that's going to take up a lot of time. But I'll try to mention a few of them, definitely. They're in the course, that is. So make sure you sign up for the course. Yeah, get on the course, inshallah. Oh, mashallah, Ilm Feed, ahlan wa sahlan, mashallah, guys. If you guys are not subscribed to Ilm Feed, you don't check out Ilm Feed. Check out Ilm Feed, inshallah. Check out ahlan wa sahlan, Rafiq, mashallah. I hope you're well. Muhammad Mullah, alhamdulillah, all is well. All is very busy nowadays. I can tell, bro. I can tell. They're very busy. You're giving off very busy vibes. Hamad was telling me as well. Mullah Hamad, he was telling me. Did you get to meet you? Irfan B, wa alaikum assalam, my brother Irfan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, 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 my brother. Allah, what's the dua when we reach 40? I heard there is a dua for it. What's the dua when we reach 40? I don't know, you know. I don't know. Is there a dua that you read when you reach 40? There might be. Like there are so many du'as that have been mentioned, not just from the Quran or from the Prophet ﷺ, but du'as that have been reported from like the past texts as well. The biblical du'as, du'as from Sahaba, du'as from Tabi'in. There are so many. Sheikh, please can you refer me to somewhere I can read about the 18 degrees and different Subha Sadiq times, as we have number of. I'll tell you two places to read here. There's an essay written by Maulana Mansoor Ali. Maulana Mansoor Ali. Maulana Mansoor Ali, he is basically Maulana, studied in Bury, and he's also a lecturer in Cardiff University. And he's written on, I think it's called, Is the British Weather Islamic? Or something like that. Is the British weather Islamic or anti-Islamic? Something like that. So check that out, Google it, you'll find his essay on that. And the second is a detailed book called Shedding Light on Dawn. Shedding Light on Dawn by Asim Yusuf. Muhammad Mullah, ahlan wa sahlan, Ilm Feed. Allah Akbar. This is a iltiqa al-kibar. Zainab, wa alaikum assalam, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, Zainab. I hope you're well. Ahmad R, ahlan wa sahlan, wa alaikum assalam. Do you try to read books cover to cover or just to whatever is relevant? Depends on the topic. So for the dua one, a lot of the books I had to read cover to cover. And some of them I read certain sections. Like for example, Adhkar Nawawi, I only read the section on dua. And also the commentary of it, which is Futuhat al-Rabbaniyah by Ibn Illan. So I just read the section on dua there. And Shawkani, so Shawkani's Tuhfatul Abrar, I just read the section on dua in there. And his Rasail, in his Rasail, he's got a Risala on Qadr, on the divine decree. How does divine decree work with dua? Sharif, wa alaikum assalam. No, the weather has been very strange, to say the least, more like spring. I see. No, historically, ajib, huh? Apparently, we're going to get cold weather from tomorrow. So I don't know about that. I'll be actually feeling a bit ill past few days. Not kind of fully ill, but at nighttime pains and stuff. So I think the weather, I can tell when the weather's changing. My body kind of feels it as well. Alhamdulillah. ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلحني في ذريتي إني تبت. ما شاء الله. Alhamdulillah. Dua class will be a location or online, both. It'll be on site and online as well, inshallah. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا، أهلا وسهلا، أهلا وسهلا يا معلم الكريم، يا حبيبي الحبيب. لقد اشتقنا إليك الأسبوع الماضي. أهلا وسهلا. نعم أنا كذلك اشتقت إليكم أيضا. GH, what to do if someone is an adamant supporter of Khuruj and says things like Saudi is corrupt and they all Ahmad Khali? I don't know, bro. You need to ask them. Yeah, I'm not into that kind of stuff. So, I mean, the thing is, I think a lot of people are just fanatical supporters. Online people just make a lot of fuss. Yeah, get on with your life, pray your 5 times salat, take care of your parents, earn for your family, stay away from haram. That's the main thing. Surah Ahqaf mentions, yeah, in Surah Ahqaf it mentions. Is there a dua to increase confidence? I haven't really come across any dua that increases confidence, but what I'll tell you, tahajjud increases confidence. You be regular in tahajjud and you will have it. Because in the Surah Al-Muzammil, Allah um, says, Inna nashi'at al-layli hiya ashaddu wat'an. Inna nashi'at al-layli hiya ashaddu wat'an wa aqwamu qilan. So nashi'at al-layli, one interpretation of this is that the getting up at night time, it ashaddu wat'an. It means it's strong in your footing. It gives you strength in footing. And aqwamu qilan, and it gives you strength in your voice as well. So it's like an indication towards some sort of a confidence that you get. Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing for confidence is, I mean, there's a lot of people who are introverts, right? Which I don't know exactly how to deal with that. But the biggest thing that really helps with confidence is you just have to learn two things. Number one is you have to learn certain little hacks or techniques to be able to sound confident. And number two is you have to you have to just expose yourself to different types of people. Yeah, that's a hard thing there. That's going to take a long time to achieve. Yeah, a long time to achieve. Is there tell Khawarij to do one like the name says? That's a good one, guys. I like that. And Mullah, as someone who is trying to fill the time with beneficial things, is there any advice of activities we should prioritize? You know what? It's a good question, guys. Very, very good question. Personally, I think what you need to do if you want to prioritize anything in your life, like why is it that you prioritize food? Why do you prioritize breakfast and lunch and dinner? Why do you prioritize things like going to the toilet? Why do you prioritize changing your clothes regularly? So if you understand why you do these things, you'll understand the secret to prioritization. I think that's the key. So you can't prioritize something if you don't see value for it. Right? That's the baseline. Right? That's the most basic fundamental rule, guys. So what you have to do is you have to understand the value of something. Once you understand the value of something, you will naturally want to prioritize it. So you need to invest in understanding the virtue, the value of what you want to do. So what's the most important thing in your life that you want to do that's going to develop you? For example, let's say you want to buy a house. Is that your priority? Then if there's enough push and motivation to buy a house, you will start to get yourself another job, or you'll start to look for a higher paid job, or you'll do whatever it takes, cut down on certain things, budget. If you want to get married, you'll do the same. Dua of Musa in Surah Taha. NS wa alaikum assalam, is beer najis or only wine? So according to Imam Hanifa, wine is najis. Yeah, they're both impermissible to drink, but beer is considered to be won't be najis according to Abu Hanifa. Sahibain's Abu Yusuf says yes, it'll be considered najis. Qasim alaikum assalam, hope you are well. What's your opinion on the Islamic mortgages? It all depends, Qasim. If you can show me how the mortgage exactly works, then I'll be able to tell you, because there are so many different types of mortgages out there now. If you want to have a nice rundown of the different types of mortgages, check out IFG. They've got an article they've written on the different types of mortgages out there. Yeah, so that's a good place to start from. Yeah, definitely, I would say. IFG, check that out. Isha Charity Fund, kindly help identify for us good Samaritans to construct a mosque. And inshallah, may Allah make it easy for you. Muhammad Mullah, sometimes I feel guilty for choosing to do one beneficial activity. Yeah, that's naturally going to happen, isn't it? But what you have to do is you have to see what you're motivated in. A man came to Imam Malik rahimahullah, and he said to Imam Malik, you teach all of these ahadith, but I don't see you acting on them. Meaning, I don't see you acting upon going for battle, jihad. I don't see you, doing all these special things, but you teach them. So Imam Malik says, Allah, He inspires people to do good, just like people are sustained with food, right? So just say you're sustained with food, and someone else might be sustained with more food, and someone with less. Likewise, people are inspired to do good. So someone might be inspired to do jihad, someone might be inspired to pray tahajjud, some inspired to fast, some inspired to do charity work, some inspired to help the community, some inspired to be leaders. So you just see what you're inspired to do and just follow that. Next, if a woman is on a period and she wants to make dua at tahajjud, is it okay if she makes it in bed, or should she get up? Yes, she can make it in bed. Because look, in the Quran, Allah says, الَّذِينَ يَذْكُرُونَ اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِهِمْ. Those who remember Allah standing, sitting, and on their back, on their sides. Yeah, as in you can remember Allah, which includes du'as, in any posture. Obviously, the more adab, the etiquette, the begging to Allah, and all of these things are also important to try and perform as well. ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. Subhanallah. Could this be a good dua for confidence? Is confidence opposite of cowardice? Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-huzn wal-ajz wal-kasal wal-bukhl wal-jubn. Yeah, that's a good one. That's, yeah, Muhammad Emullah, this is a good one. Nice dua, that is. Yeah, that could be a good for confidence as well. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from ham, from stress, huzn, from being sad, from ajaz, from being incapable, wal-kasal, and laziness, wal-bukhl, and miserliness, and jubun, cowardice, dala' ad-dain, overpowering debt, ghalabat al-rijal, and from being overwhelmed by men and society. This would definitely be a good dua for confidence as well. Yeah, because what is lack of confidence? Think about it. If you strip it down to its bare core, what is lack of confidence? Lack of confidence is simply you find it difficult to communicate with people. That's what it is. Yeah, you find you're hesitating to communicate with people. You feel uncomfortable. That's what lack of confidence is. There's actually some really good talks on YouTube for confidence, building confidence, strengthening. And Musa alayhi salam, where he said, Rabbi shrah li sadri. That's also an indication towards confidence as well. Ishrah li sadri. Yeah, because when you're not confident, you don't feel like sharhu sadr, your chest doesn't feel. I mean, one way of spreading your chest is to do weights, to do some, but that's not the one that we want. Is there any concession in the Hanafi school for women to recite Quran during Hayd? No, not in the Hanafi school. In the Hanafi school, it would only be limited. Like Imam Tahawi says, up just be less than one ayah. She can read just less than like 90% of an ayah. And according to Imam Karhi and others, they say she has to break it down in words without taking a breath, like without continuing the breath. So, Alhamd Lillah Rabb Al-Alameen, like that. And that's only really for someone who's a teacher of Quran or someone who's a student of Quran. But Malik, if a woman needs to take the Maliki position on this for like some real strong need, then it's possible. A Hayd can need in minimum 3 days and maximum 10 days. Is that counted salat time or salat? So minimum 15 salat and maximum 50 salat. So they generally nowadays they say you use the clock. So just basically, 240 hours and 72 hours. So 72 hours, 240 hours. But in the past, they would work it out according to salat times usually. Yeah. So when the woman checks her pad, she sees blood on there. Right. Then from that time, if she can tell what that time is, then she works out that time. Otherwise, it's the closest salat time. I hold no form of khamr is najas based on hadith where everyone in Medina spilled it in. Pray despite having walked. I have not come across that opinion in the four madhabs. Maybe, someone might hold that position, but generally the four madhabs say that khamr is considered to be najis. And the thing is, like, for example, like dogs used to, like Ibn Umar radiallahu anh says, dogs used to go in the masjid. So if dogs used to go in the masjid, their saliva clearly is going to go in the masjid. But that doesn't mean that dog saliva is clean, especially when the Prophet ﷺ commanded for the cleaning, washing of the bowl multiple times if a dog licks from it. And so the scholars generally say that anything that Allah has made haram is generally considered to be najis. That's the general rule. Fresh Prince of Pakistan. أهلا وسهلا. كيف أشعر أني جميلة في نفسي وأبدو جميلا مثلك. لا أنت تريد أن تكون أجمل عند الله سبحانه وتعالى. Actually, there's actually a hadith I'm going to mention in the dua course, and it's basically where the Prophet ﷺ, he asked for water from a Jew, and the Jew gave him the water, and then the Prophet ﷺ, he made a dua for him to make him beautiful, and apparently like that dua came true for him. Yeah, and there were several Sahaba that I found. There's 3 other Sahaba that I found where the Prophet ﷺ, he made a dua for beauty for them. Like there's one Sahabi and his hair fell into a cup of water, and the Prophet took it out and he made dua for him. And he said that the guy was like in his 90s, the narrators say, and they hardly saw any white hair in his hair. Alaikum assalam, my brother. Alhamdulillah, too long, bro. Too long. Yeah, I know we need to meet. We need to meet up again. Do a live stream from your house. I once read a hadith where Rasul don't wish for any patience as you're asking for trials. Yes, definitely. So asking for this, I'm going to talk about this as well in the course as well, about asking for patience. Yeah, so like the dua that was mentioned earlier on, أفرغ علينا صبرا. Yeah, that dua is like in the situation where you're in a calamity and you ask Allah for sabr in a calamity to stay firm. As for when you're in a normal situation and you simply just ask Allah for du'as of sabr, that's something which the scholars say you shouldn't do. Galaxy, wa alaikum salam. Can a woman brush her hair during days of Hajj? Does hair falling from her brush necessitate sadaqah? Yes. So a woman should not brush her hair. Yeah, the idea is when you go for Hajj, you should be as disheveled as possible. That's the idea. Because remember, in Hajj, you're showing yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the most dire and desperate state. So you're like really, unkempt, basically. That's the idea. You should, and that's a good thing to stay unkempt. Normally you shouldn't in life, but in Hajj, definitely you should. Al-Lawh, seeing a snake in one's dream, does it mean it all depends. What color was the snake? How big was the snake? What was the snake doing? Like which part of the world are you in? Yeah, there's a lot of factors. I'm assuming the fatwa position regarding whether beer is najis or not is Abu Hanifa's opinion. In fact, Sahibain's opinion, Imam Yusuf's opinion on Khamr. Many of the later Hanafis have given. Yeah, but some of the Hanafis have said on Abu Hanifa's opinion. Sheikh, have you thought of coming on IFG interview series? No. Yeah, I think they're way out of my league. I think I'm not like very familiar with Islamic like the finance that's going on at the moment. See, the thing with finance is you have to be updated with it all the time because there are so many new products coming out. So I don't think I'd be probably the best person to speak about it. Mufti Faraz definitely is the more qualified person. Deobandis, wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. What's the best study course language? Pakistan Urdu. Do you have tutorials? No, I don't, unfortunately. I don't know. Wa alaikum assalam, Sharif. Ahlan wa sahlan. Is Dawood age known when he faced Jalut? No, we don't know. Not from the Islamic sources. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair, Mullah. May Allah bless you in this dunya and akhirah and keep you happy and keep your hair fresh. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair for your kind donation. It means a lot to me. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers, guys. Almost at 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. And I think we're going to get greedy. Once we hit 100,000, inshallah, not inshallah, but we are going to get greedy for 1 million because that's the next plaque, isn't it? The silver one, then the gold one. Jazakallah khair, may Allah bless you. Is baby urine for those babies not eating solid food khafifa or ghaliza? So, according to Hanafis, it's considered to be ghaliza, but the method of cleaning is lighter for boys only for boys. Yeah, so boys' urine under the age of 2 when they're drinking milk, their urine can easily be cleaned. You don't have to basically rub it hard according to Hanafis. And that's based upon a hadith. Yeah, there's a hadith. Qais binti Mihsan. She brought a child in, and the child urinated on the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ, he just said, look, all you have to do is just wash it lightly. Should a woman still maintain tahajjud or waking habits during haid, even though she has increased tiredness during the... No, she doesn't have to. And the whole point is of her being absolved of the 5 salats in her days is because for ease for her. So the idea is there's ease, Allah is giving ease for her. And that's part of her ease is obeying Allah. Subhanallah, look at that. Some situations we obey Allah by doing something, and some situations we obey Allah by not doing something. Is the most comprehensive dua, oh Allah, I ask you for all the good Rasulullah and ask you for and seek refuge in you in all he sought refuge from. I think I read in Kitab al-Dua Nasai. Yeah, but I mean, see, the thing is, if this was the case, that would mean that the Sahaba would only ask for this dua, isn't it? They wouldn't ask for anything else. But we have narrations where they used to ask for other things. So clearly, when you're asking for things which are clearly related to the deen, this is like the shortcut version. So you can have a shortcut version of something, or you can have the detailed version of something, and both are important. So yes, it is, you can say, the most comprehensive in that sense. Recommendations for Urdu books on Aqidah, asking for my parents as they're interested. There's a really good book by Maulana Idris Khan Delwi. Maulana Idris Khan Delwi has a book on Aqaid. It's called Aqaid. You can Google it. You probably find it a PDF of it. Yeah, that's really good. And there's also one on Aqaid by Maulana Khalid Saifullah Rahmani. Yeah, really nice one. Short, sweet, easy to understand. There's quite a few. If you go to this website called Urdu Books, yeah, on there's a few really good ones, like really kind of, some of them are very thought-provoking as well. Oh, there's one by Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi. Maulana Abdul Majid Daryabadi. His one's very good. Check those out. Can a wife or husband perform the ghusl of the dead spouse? You mentioned last week that their death means that. Yeah, so the wife can perform it for the husband, but the husband can't perform it for the wife. That's according to Hanafis, that is. Yeah, so because when the husband dies, the wife is still partially connected to the husband because she has to experience the iddah before she can marry someone else. But when the wife dies, the marriage is over. That's it. Husband does not have to wait for anything before he can marry someone else. If I have a cup that says Bismillah in English, do you have to make wudu to touch the cup, or at least no, because it's not considered a full ayah. Wa alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan Gandalf. Please, can you explain the Asr time in reference to Hanafi school compared to other schools and how to reestablish the Asr time from Hadith? Yeah, I'll mention that. So basically, when it comes to the Asr time, so according to the thing is, there are multiple hadith. The main hadith are about 3 hadith. There's about 4 hadith. There's the famous Jibreel alayhi salam hadith, where when 5 times salat was first given to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Jibreel alayhi salam came the next day, and for 2 days he led him in salat. Just the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he led him, and he showed him the beginning times of salat and the end times of salat. And in that hadith, on the first day he prayed Asr when the shadow of an object was equal to 1 size. And on the second day, he prayed when the shadow was equal to 2 sides. Yeah. And so that's one hadith. And then there's other hadith where the Prophet ﷺ has talked about the munafiq salat, where the munafiq waits until the sun changes, meaning the sun can be looked at without hurting the eyes. That's roughly just before sunset. So that shows that the time extends all the way there. That's why the Hanafis say that the salat times, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, he has 3 opinions about the time Asr starts. One opinion is that 1 shadow, like his 2 students. One opinion is 2 shadows, which is the most famous position from him. And the third opinion is that it's 2 shadows, but there's no salat in between 1 shadow and 2 shadows. And if you want to watch my Quduri video, I explained about the salat times over there. So if you go to Quduri and check that out, I've explained with images and everything of how the salat time works. So this is why, because the hadith are not very clear exactly what time Asr starts and what time it ends in that sense. That's why there's ijtihad. Okay, be good. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Very well, thank you very much. What would you say are a good range of books to study to go from beginner to advanced level Aqidah? I would say if you want to start with Aqidah, first and foremost, I always say this Quran. Make sure you know the Aqidah from Quran, first of all. Like, make sure you can explain to someone what it means to believe in Allah from the Quran. That's the first and foremost thing. Then, secondly, number two, I would say you start off with a text like Aqidah Tahawiyah. But before you actually go into Aqidah Tahawiyah, you must understand the different sort of factions that existed at that time. You must understand how the Mu'tazila worked. You must understand how the Khawarij worked. You must understand how the the Batiniya worked, or that came a bit later. But you must understand how the Shia belief was. Once you understand these various factions, Aqidah Tahawiyah makes so much sense. Like, honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, if you don't study all of this, Aqidah Tahawiyah just seems like he's repeating some of the points again and again and again. That's very important. Then I would say, after you studied that, then study a book called Al-Fiqh al-Akbar. Yeah, very important. Yeah. And a book called, there's actually, Sheikh Zahid al-Kawthari has a collection of Aqaid books. Yeah, you can get, I've got it at the back over there. Where is it? It's hidden somewhere. Yeah, I'll have to look for it. Yeah, but that is a very good. Then after that, you can study, like, if you want to go a bit more advanced into, then something like the Sharh of Aqidat Tahawiyah by Al-Ghunaymi, yeah, Maidani, Sharh Aqaid by the commentary of Sharh Aqaid by Sheikh Sa'id Fawda, and you can study Fiqh al-Akbar and Mullah Ali Qari with the commentary of Wahab Ghawji. Yeah, these are very, very good ones, I would say. Boxing MMA, ahla wa sahla wa alaikum assalam, my brother. Long time, my bro. Long time, long time. Mu'min, assalamu alaikum. Can I pray with ghusl without doing wudu? Yes, as long as you wash your whole body and mouth and nose, it's fine. If the haid finished before 3 days, should she wait till the completion of 3 days to take the ghusl? So if the haid finished before 3 days, she doesn't have to take ghusl because she doesn't have haid. Yeah. So if she doesn't have haid, she just does wudu and carries on. I am in basic studies, but why does it sometimes appear that the opinions of Sahibain lean towards the Shafi Maliki school? That's a good question. That's not all the time, but the reason for that is because Imam Hanifa allowed his students to be able to do their own investigation, and the opinions of the Sahibain are generally sort of like developed later on. So after the demise of Imam Hanifa, a lot of the opinions were developed later on when the Sahibain would have debates with others, and sometimes they would adjust their opinions. So that's another, but they're not always the same. Yeah, definitely, they're not always the same as the Shafi Maliki. They might appear that way. Studying under a teacher, of course. Sweeter man, due to falling back into sin, now I'm looking to get married and still struggling with that sin. I wanted to give it up before marriage, but I don't see that happening. Please do dua for me and those struggling with all types of, bro. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure you. May Allah give cure to all those who are suffering from this. What I would say, sweeter man, is that what you need to do is you need to contact. What's that website called? A Tazkiyah, which is actually a website dedicated to helping people to get off addiction of pornography and these kind of things. Right, so check them out, contact them. I think they're free of charge as well. I think so. I'm not sure, but check them out. Yeah, because it's addiction. End of the day. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. Ryan Westwood, MashaAllah. May Allah bless you for your kind donation. May Allah grant you sincere intention, grant you honorable death. May Ameen. Beautiful dua. Subhanallah. Jazakallah for your kind, beautiful donation. May Allah bless you in this dunya and the akhirah. It means a lot to me, honestly, when you guys support my channel, when you help the work that I'm doing. I'm not anyone important. Allah could have chosen anyone else to do work of deen, but I have a lot of passion. I like teaching people. I like explaining things, making things easy for people to be able to grasp understanding. That's my whole aim of this channel. Honestly, that's my whole aim from the beginning. It's just to provide free of charge videos for everyone and try to make them as easy as possible without having to water them down, right? So people can study, at the comfort of their own homes. And I know a lot of people, like, alhamdulillah, have benefited from especially the learning how to read the Quran series. So it makes me, like, honestly, inside, it makes me so happy that some of you guys are benefiting so much from it. Jazakallah khair, Ryan, means a lot to me, honestly, the support. And I really want to take this channel to another level. Yeah, inshallah, in the future, I want to expand the kind of work that I'm doing, get other people involved, a team involved, where we can have dedicated, like, just dedicate to these kind of projects. Like, I would, like, see, there's some of the kind of things that I'm thinking of. I would really like to make videos on sort of like fiqh, but more like a practical kind of fiqh, a fiqh where it's more like a documentary kind of fiqh, where you're discussing fiqh, but like, have you seen these kind of science videos where they'll go outside, outdoors, and they'll experiment, demonstrate things, and they'll do things, and it's like a very nicely made documentary that makes a lot of sense. I would really kind of love to make something like that and get people, engaged in that way. That's one thing. The other thing is also trying to make videos to um, explain like Aqidah as well, right? That, because that's a very tricky area to be able to explain Aqidah, to be able to really kind of conceptualize things, and to make it palatable for people as well, at different levels. Aqidah, ilm al-kalam as well, I think that's very important. And Quran, I think the biggest one is Quran. There needs to be a lot of work done on Quran. So, I mean, I'm just trying to do a little bit of work on it, but there's other things that can be done on the Quran as well, like series on, like, trying to go and explore concepts in the Quran in the real world. Yeah, like nature is a big concept in the Quran. How nature ties in with Iman, I think that's a very, very important thing. Understanding history in the Quran, that's another good series. The history in the Quran, things that are mentioned in the Quran, historical. How far do we understand that history? To what extent the scientific sort of people claim that the scientific miracles of the Quran, trying to understand that. So I think there's a lot of things that can be done. Even if I can't do them, at least I can be a small little help in the big chain of events, inshallah, in the future, that people will take this to another level. Yeah, because what's happening now, there's so many people out there who are shifting towards like silly entertainment, like TikTok kind of entertainment. They're wasting their time on these kind of things, where we seriously need to show people how sophisticated Islam is, how sophisticated the Quran is, how sophisticated the science of the Arabic language is, to be able to give people as much access as they can. What do you guys think? Jazakallah khair, Ryan. Okay, next question. Sharif, a boy versus giant. A boy with supreme confidence in his Lord generated supremely confident actions. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Like the Palestinians. Is mantiq basically maths? It's basically thinking maths. That's what it is. It's how you think. So it's basically kind of demarcating or defining how we think. Yeah, fallacies in thinking. That's what, if you understand mantiq very good, you can basically listen to any conversation, and like you're saying mathematically, isn't it? So you can rationally break down the conversation, and you can see how sound it is logically, or how flawed it is. That's what you can see. If I make a sadaqah box in my home which I donate into during Ramadan, can I get the same reward as donating to charity online, because they too will not divide it? Yes, inshallah. Inshallah, why not? Straight to the source. Yeah, that's right. Achha wa alaikum assalam. Can you say Jazakallah to a non-Muslim when they can't hear you, saying it? For example, when they give away to you whilst, yeah, with intention that Jazakallah khair, you mean by that Allah give them guidance. Yeah, you can say that. Ameen. Party in Blackburn is still on the cards once we reach party in Blackburn. Oh yes, that sounds like it. So guys, make sure we hit 100,000 subscribers before Ramadan, because in Ramadan we can't do parties. No parties in Ramadan. Yeah, the only party in Ramadan is iftar party. Shares part of the life. I have a fact in a region town called Medina Munawwara. I hope, inshallah, you go there because the town have Sharia law. Alhamdulillah. Silver button. How do you plan your time during Ramadan? In the past few years, I've tried to use hourly planning. I would say, look, to be very, very blunt and very, very, frank, I would say, do not make your Ramadan where you are simply just doing actions and you're not becoming a better person. Remember, that's how I talked about today as well. You don't want to become a regimental Ramadani, but you don't stay away from sins, you don't develop yourself in character, you don't start to help people. If you find yourself that you're in Ramadan just doing acts of worship and you're not helping the poor, and you're not being kind to your parents, or you're not being, kind to your relatives, right? This is a very important part, I think, of Ramadan. This is like a shaitan's deception of Ramadan for many of us. He kind of focuses us on doing so much good when it comes to, like, we pray so much Quran and so much salat and so much dhikr, but we won't develop inside of ourselves the goodness inside of ourselves, like the character, the taqwa inside of ourselves, the ability to be able to show empathy to other people. I think that's another important thing in Ramadan that people fail, because you focus it too much on do's and don'ts. But that's why I would say, look, in Ramadan, increase increase all good things. Increase your Quran, increase your dhikr, increase your salat. Manage your sins. Make sure you're observing your sins, that you're not committing sins, or you're cutting down your sins, or you're repenting from your sins. You're visiting your relatives. You're regularly speaking to your parents, being kind to them, serving them a lot, um, doing some charity work, maybe volunteering for an organization or for the masjid, cleaning the masjid even. These are kind of, I think, things that people need to focus on in Ramadan as well. Definitely. Yeah. Do you have any advice? I'm scared if I do not plan that I will waste time, but equally I find detailing. Yeah, the thing is, don't look. I personally, I'm not a detailed plan. I thought I could do it. Do chunks. So, for example, what you do is, this is what I heard. Abdul, what's his name? Ali Abdal. Yeah, he said a good thing in one of his episodes. He said Elon Musk, what he does is he chunks time. So you take your time and you look in your day, what things are the most important things that you have to do, just color them in. And you're not going to do anything in those except for those things like work and going to the mosque, or praying your salat. And then in between, do some main things and have yourself some rest as well. Do some main things like you want to cover. Okay, like, so you have these different colors. You have one color for the most important things, like a red maybe, and then you have things which are like a second degree. If you don't get them done, it's okay, like that. So if you do it that way, you kind of feel achievement at the end of the day. What you want to do is, by the end of the day, you want to kind of look at yourself, what have I achieved? Am I happy with it? And then you carry on to your next day. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Masir Ali Sahib, kya hal hai mere bhai? How's it going? Very well. How do I remember what I study in fiqh? I forget so much. You got to keep going over it, my brother. Honestly, do not expect to remember everything first time unless you are a memorizer, which most of us are not. But you keep going over it. You learn it once, and then you learn it in another book, and then you learn it in another book. Kathratul tikrar, basically. Kathratul tikrar. That's the secret of it. What's the difference between the content on your channel and on the course on Uruk? So the content on my channel is basically everything is free of charge, and on Uruk are the courses which are paid courses. Those are like paid courses, and those are more sort of like structured for people who want to do some higher sciences. Like, for example, on my Uruk, I've got some courses on there, like elements of faith, which is basically basic aqidah for anyone who wants to know basic things about in Islam. Yeah, it's based on the Quran, based on Hadith, and then I've got a course on the essence, the essence of the Quran, which is a Usul Quran book. It's basically kind of for a person who doesn't know what the Quran is about. It just goes through the main topics of the Quran. It goes through that. I was actually thinking this Ramadan, shall I do like a Quran thing where I go through the whole Quran? I don't know. I'm not too 100% sure about that, because that would require a lot of planning and how I would structure it. Did the Prophet say he'd do Aisha's ghusl when he was in his final days and she was also ill? Now, that narration, we would say this is something which the Prophet ﷺ, for him, the Prophet ﷺ, for him, he obviously was allowed to do things which we wouldn't normally permitted to do. So this is why, obviously him, because he was considered to be like the father of the believers. He even said himself, "I'm like a father to you," in that sense. So although that does not, you can't take a fiqh ruling out of that. That's the thing. And now is Sha'ban, Ramadan is most beautiful. Ameen. Is it allowed to have posters in the home with Ayatul Kursi or called names of Allah written on them, whether it be for? Yeah, I wouldn't see a problem in that. Generally, how does the Hanafi school decide which opinion between the Sahib and Imam? Yeah, so this requires a lot of discussion because it's talking about ifta, fatwa. Fatwa requires understanding problems in the society. It's based upon things like making things easy for people. It's based upon dalil as well. There's so many factors that have to be taken into consideration before the Hanafis give fatwa. Yeah, so fatwa is you can't explain in 2 minutes basically. It requires a whole course to be able to understand how fatwa is given. That's what I teach that. Once a week I teach that at Asofar. Apart from bird droppings, what else is khafifa najasa? So Hanafis say anything in which there is an ikhtilaf between the scholars or there is a haraj issue. Yeah, where there's an ikhtilaf between the scholars or there's a haraj issue. So like animals that we can eat their urine. I hope that's decaffeinated. The caffeine will keep you up all night. Yeah, I hope it's decaffeinated as well, bro. Allah, how do you keep steadfast in deen? That's, the ulama actually say steadfastness in deen is higher than 1,000 karama, because a person can do an act which is amazing, 1,000 amazing, extraordinary acts, but steadfastness in deen, day after day after day, it's a very, very hard thing. The reason it's very hard is because, first of all, it requires you to discipline yourself, discipline your desires, and that is something which, for us, it's a lifetime challenge, like a big jihad that is. And the second thing is because istiqamah requires a person to not be affected by their surroundings. And as human beings, we change. Yeah, so we might be living in one house and then we move to another house and we're from one job to another job, and then we're unmarried, and then we're married, and then we're unmarried, and we got kids, and we got this. So there's so many things happening in life. It's like, for example, imagine there's a train that's on tracks that's wobbling, and you're trying to walk through the train. That's how istiqamah is hard. If bread contains tartaric acid, as most do, is it mandatory to find out whether it's obtained from synthetically or residue from wine barrels? I heard one opinion, tabdil mahia. Okay, I don't know what tartaric acid is, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, it would require someone who knows about chemistry, like at a very high level. So I wouldn't be able to say. But generally, I mean, these kind of substances, I don't think they would take it from the bottom of a barrel. I think it'd be synthesized. Are there any series you'll be doing this Ramadan? Alhamdulillah, I really enjoyed the Mullah Ali Qari series from, I think, 2 years ago. Oh yeah, that was a nice one, wasn't it? I don't think I'll be doing a series this Ramadan like that. I'm going to see, inshallah. I'll have a think, because I've been so busy with this dua course. Khairuna is a very good fighter, alhamdulillah. Is it allowed people to watch videos or images of other men, e.g. in sports, if their aura is on show? So, I mean, look, first of all, there's an ikhtilaf with regards to the lower part of the knees, yeah, the thighs. And in football, generally the view is from far away, so you're not always seeing that. So there's a bit of a kind of like a leeway over there, especially in some madhabs where there's a bit of leeway. But if a person feels desire towards this, then they should not watch it at all. Impermissible. I want to study Arabic to understand the Quran one day, inshallah. I have no institutes anywhere else but near me, but I like classroom learning. After your Arabic lessons, do you have any recommendations? I would say after you study the Quranic Arabic 17 lessons, do the Surah Yasin, and then after Surah Mulk course. Definitely. And then read as many kids' books as you can, Arabic kids' books. Can someone do a few years of online Alamiyya to help this? Yes, that might be a good thing. I'm watching your program now on my widescreen, and my mom's saying that liakat. Liakat. Said, yeah, mom. Said, yeah, Beshi Ami liakat balabasho. Ami liakat balabasho. Beshi balabasho. Please explain how and why fiqh changes over time and place, and also do ikhtilaf exist in the first place? Yes, it changes a lot. So I'll give you an example. For example, the early Hanafi position with regards to charging people to be an imam is impermissible, unanimously. Charging people to teach the Quran, impermissible, Hanafis say. Hanafis are the strictest on this, the early Hanafis. The reason for that was because the Hanafis said that, these are things that should be free of charge for people. But as the years went by, the early years, all teachers were provided a stipend from the government. The government used to give teachers a fund. They used to pay them basically. Then what happened? This fund was finished, ceased. So the Hanafis now had to take the Maliki and Shafi position on this, because otherwise, like lots of scholars would have to stop dedicating themselves to teaching and get themselves jobs. And if you do that, you know what's going to happen. The number of teachers is going to dwindle until people are going to lose the opportunity to study knowledge. So that's why now the fatwa is that you can charge for it. So you see how the fatwa changed because circumstances changed. Do you know any well-recommended Arabic classes online? I have tried Egypt teachers before, but it did not work for me. My aim is I want to understand the Quran better. I don't know any. There is actually in Pakistan. If you email me, I can give you some contact details. But this is a ladies madrasa. They actually teach Arabic. Yeah, they teach Arabic, and I don't know if they do online. I think they do some courses online. But you can contact them, and maybe you can speak to them, and they are just purely Arabic, and their Arabic is of a very high level. Yeah, definitely. What's the bachur dua? We ask and then sit down on our hands. Allah finds you a way, and then you find bachur dua. Never heard of that. So exactly, what's that? What if you ask Allah to cure a disease that has no current cure? So there really isn't much you can do. Yeah, so you can like there is what kind of things can you not ask for? One of the things you cannot ask for is something which is impossible. Yeah, but not something which is far-fetched. You can ask for things that are far-fetched. So if there's not a cure for something in your society, you can ask for that, because having a cure for something is not impossible. It's not in the realm of impossibility. So you can ask for that. Yeah, so you can definitely ask for that. 1 minute nonsense fiqh. The shorts you were making a while back, you out about and asking this water. Yeah, something like that. But this is more structured. It's more structured. It's based upon understanding of how the scholars sort of understood this. Like you get these documentaries where they do like a physics documentary on a specific theme, the whole 1 hour or half an hour, whatever, like that. Do you plan family time in your daily schedule? Kind of. Yeah. It just usually kind of like if it kind of works out. But yeah, I kind of like have it in the back of mind. All feathers are light. Light is the opposite of dark. Therefore, no feathers can be dark. Allahu Akbar. Wallah. You just study this and you won't need mantiq. It's like that. Have you seen this thing called something science? It's like a Facebook. It's a Facebook channel, Facebook page. Science facts, like made up science, like some stupid science they come out with, like illogical things, but they make it sound true. Someone once said, if a non-Muslim sneezes, you can say, bless you, with the intention, may Allah bless you with guidance. Yes, that sounds right. Proper logic. Masir Ali, I got an awesome quote on Zuhud, but it only applies in Ramadan. Allah, wah, wah, dad jokes, huh? I had an atheist teacher who knew about Friday Muslims or Ramadan Muslims. I was surprised he knew of this problem. You see, the interesting thing is that, all religions suffer from the same, like, general problems. You'll see that. All religions suffer from, like, for example, all religions will suffer from corrupt leaders. All religions will suffer from corrupt scholars. All religions will suffer from two-faced worshippers. All religions will face the problem of, certain types of sins prevalent. There's a similar kind of pattern you'll find. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Valerie, wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan, Valerie. Alhamdulillah. Masir Ali, wa alaikum assalam. Aqil Mir, alaikum assalam. I ordered tickets to your event, but I ordered online registration. Is this still a chance I can come on site, please? Hopefully. So what all you have to do is email them, is tell them your situation, and they'll sort it out for you. Yeah, so email the admin. Masir Ali, I'm trying to answer for myself a question of how does fiqh change according to context? Like, what are the limits and what changeable? Yeah, so this is why you need to study iftar, my brother, to know this. Is urine of halal animals tahir? Not according to the majority of Hanafis. Imam Muhammad says they are, but the other Hanafis say no. Halima Ahmed, tips on how to have tawakkul Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when things aren't going your way. So tawakkul basically means is from the word wakala, which means to make someone your agent, like you rely upon them. Like for example, if I give you tenner, which is a £10, right? And I say to you, can you go and buy me a meal? So what I've done is I've given you the money and I've just trusted in you. I've relied upon you. So when you do trust in Allah, when you have reliance in Allah, there's two things you have to remember. Number one is reliance in Allah only works after you've tried your best. You've tried all the means and you've come to a dead end. Now the reliance of Allah works. Number two, reliance of Allah will only work when you have a strong belief in Allah. You have to strengthen your belief in Allah. And sometimes it takes time to strengthen that belief. So these are two things. If you want to have reliance in Allah, like for example, you want to get married and you kind of search the person, you check them out, you're happy with them, you do istikhara, that's reliance upon Allah. Right? So you leave it to Allah. You say, Allah, you decide for me, and then go for it. And that's like kind of like almost a leap of faith, you can say. I got an idea of how it might change over time and space. Correct me if I'm wrong, but ultimately these things and chapters of fiqh can understand using qawaid of fiqh, which are derived. We use a qawaid to generate a rulings, and over time, or there may be special circumstances that prevent you from getting to the asal of a ruling in your context. Yeah, excellent. I think that's a good way of looking at it. Definitely. I mean, one of the changes of fiqh is how would fiqh be affected by space travel, going to Mars, all of these things. This understanding that. I think it'd be good if we made like an episode on how would fiqh be different if the Earth is flat. Like, what fiqhy differences would there be if really the Earth is flat? If there is what do they call it? The firmament. Is it called the firmament? The kind of that lid. They believe in a kind of lid on the Earth. I mean, that would be interesting to see what the fiqh sort of like consequences of that would be, outcomes. And going to Mars, if people go to Mars and live on Mars, what are the fiqh consequences? That would be something I'd be interested in. People who are like science kind of minded people would like that kind of stuff. Would you like that kind of episode? So, have you not had any guests on sometime? How about a qari? No, I haven't. I haven't. But it would be a good idea. Definitely, I think it'd be a good idea to have someone on. Assalamu alaikum. Ahlan wa sahlan. As Damira, is it allowed to use emojis? There are pictures resembling living things. If it's digital, I wouldn't see a problem with it. The fiqh idea is amazing. You like it, yeah? Yeah. Maybe you guys should start something like that. That'd be really good. I think a lot of people would like to watch something like that. Definitely. Because you see, people, what I've noticed with people is people like to know how things work, even though they don't want to study in detail. They like to know how things work. So when you can sort of like present it visually with the right sounds and with the right presentation, I think people will like it a lot. Ilm feeds new episodes. Studying is a very lonely endeavor. Sometimes would you agree? Of course. Studying, look, what does daras mean? Think about what does daras mean? Darasa, it means to wear out. You are literally wearing out a human being. That's a hard thing, that is. For a human to be able, like, imagine you get a rock and you keep rubbing it on the ground, rubbing it. After a time, the rock's going to wear out. When you're studying, you are literally wearing the person out. It's a very sort of like tiresome endeavor. I'm famous, bro. I'm reaching there, bro. I see it. When I become, I was going to say like the Oscars, the Muslim Oscars. The Asghars, not the Oscars. On the Asghars. Muhammad, what do you think about that? The Asghars, like humbleness. An award for the most humble people. Will this live stream be published on your channel afterwards so I can rewind? Yes, you can. Inshallah, it'll be published, and you can check it out. Inshallah, I don't know. Sometimes it takes, I think, about 12 hours to publish. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but you can check it out on my channel. Inshallah. Can you elaborate on sirat and mustaqim? Both mean straight. Sirat, sarata, it means a path. It's a path that will get you to from one place to another. Like your throat is called the sirat. To your stomach, it's called sirat. Because when you put food in there, even if you stand on your head, it moves. Mustaqim is from the word qama yaqumu, which means like something that has been made straight. Something that has been like made deliberately straight. Paths are not normally straight. Paths normally wind, don't they? But this is a mustaqim path. It's like a unique, like Allah has made this. It's been designed by Allah. Is it permissible to do salat or salam with the Brelvis with the belief that the action is being passed to our Prophet ﷺ and he is not everywhere? My Maulana said no, since it's like being at a club. I mean, I wouldn't see a problem in that. There are narrations where the Prophet ﷺ is presented with the actions of people on Thursdays. So based upon that, I mean, as long as a person believes that the Prophet ﷺ is in one location in his blessed grave, and angels send information to the Prophet ﷺ, there wouldn't be a problem there in that sense. But he wouldn't have knowledge of everything. That's the thing. Wa alaikum assalam, Hassan, ahla wa sahlan. My week has been very beautiful, my brother. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Very nice. I've been very, very busy preparing for my dua course. I've been a bit unwell as well, as you can see from my eyes. Been a bit unwell. But alhamdulillah, I've been good. Arabic Suhail, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Whenever I grow my beard, it gets scruffy. What's your secret of keeping nice? I think it's just DNA, my brother. It's just some people's hair just grows in a certain way and some is curly. Maybe you have to look for some products. What is your beard routine? It's like a new thing and a guy thing. Their beard routine. So I think maybe look for certain types of creams you can get, or butter, beard butter. I've got some beard butter that someone gave me as well, and I've been trying that. That's quite nice as well. Wash your hair, wash your beard with conditioner. And I think people who have very frizzy hair, you can get these kind of products which might not be very good for your skin or hair, but they make the hair very, very thin, and not thin, but silky. I should get a secretary to help manage, organize things. I know, I need to, Inshallah, in the future, when when I get more money, inshallah. What did you talk about at yesterday's Jummah in Saddam? I wasn't there. Yeah, I didn't see you. I was thinking. Kita be. I talked about what did I talk about? I actually put it on the Telegram group. The talk I put on the Telegram group. It was about importance of sabr. Are scholars trained in emotional intelligence or understanding? No, they're not. Sometimes when asking personal questions, scholars, they can respond in quite, yeah. Honestly, scholars are not, we have no training at all in madrasas of how to like communicate with people. That's the blunt truth. Yeah. So I think a lot of people get shocked at that, because when sometimes people ask me questions and I just say to them, look, I'm just answering your quick questions, okay? Like, I cannot empathize with you. I can maybe say to you, subhanAllah, I'm sorry for what's happened, but I can't carry on listening to you. I'm not trained in that. Some people will think, oh, you know what, it's just too cold, too shallow. You have to remember, it's like, for example, a physicist or someone who's a scientist of some sort. They're not trained in these fields. They are just trained in a certain area. Sorry if my question appears rude, but it feels like recently, or perhaps they received too many questions. Yeah, and that's another thing. Sometimes what happens is scholars receive too many questions. They get so many. I literally every single day I probably get at least between 10 to 15 questions, and sometimes more in one day. Definitely between 10 and 15. And what will happen is sometimes responding to that question will require a back and forth. So I might have to take with one question, I might have to have a back and forth, and that will all take up maybe 10, 20 minutes of my time. Sometimes I'll have to respond by phone. Sometimes, and it's all free of charge, remember. So when scholars are answering your questions, they're just answering free of charge. And then someone will ask a scholar a question, the scholar will have to go and do a bit of research. That will take another maybe 15 minutes, half an hour. So this is why it's people have to understand. It's a very kind of like a tricky thing to balance. How How do you tell people, look, you're not trained? Because they think automatically, if you're a scholar, you just know the answer to everything. You are like the Prophet ﷺ. You are just so kind and merciful, and and in most cases, it doesn't turn out like that. Yeah, so scholars, I 100% know the scholars who are the most active scholars in the community are very, very busy. Like literally, their families don't have time for them. Like they don't have time for their family. Sleep, they have to cut down their sleep. They're so busy traveling up and down the country. Um, it's quite. I mean, and if someone says, well, they should be, then the question is, because we have so less scholars in our community today, like really, we're critical at critical level, very, very bad level we are. We're not producing enough scholars. Not many people are interested in becoming scholars. And that's the sad reality of it. People have to understand it's like in a community where there's only a few doctors and you get angry at doctors. You have to understand there's only a few doctors that are available, and there are so many people who need the help. But it's a good question, definitely. Would it then be improper to make dua asking for all Muslims to be forgiven and accepted Jannah? That's what some of the scholars, in fact, actually say that. Yeah, some of the scholars say that. I think Imam Zarkashi mentioned this as well. That you shouldn't ask for like all Muslims, or you shouldn't ask for all Muslims to be forgiven in the sense that they don't go Jahannam, because some Muslims have to go Jahannam because that's what they've done. They've done so bad things. But some scholars say that the dua is actually like making hope, creating hope that Allah one day forgives them. That's why there's an ikhtilaf on that. If you have a sickness, is it better to pray for cure or steadfastness to endure? So again, this is where some of the scholars differ on this issue as well. Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, he mentions this, and Imam Khattabi mentions this. Some of the books that I've been reading. So the one of the nicest answers that I found is that like Imam Qushayri mentions, that what you should do basically is there's certain times where you don't ask for something, and sometimes you do. Like for example, when that lady came to the Prophet ﷺ and she had fits, and the Prophet ﷺ said, "Look, I can ask Allah to cure you, or you can have sabr and get Jannah." So sometimes, for example, like you have to remember, sometimes the illness might be a purification for you, a good way. Yeah. So like there was one Sahabi who made a dua to Allah, "Oh Allah, give me such an illness that does not stop me from worshipping you." And he got like a cold for the rest of his life. One Sahabi, he asked a dua, "Oh Allah, give me less sleep." So what happened was he would literally just sleep sitting. He would sleep for a short while, and that would be enough for him. Hassan Ahmed Muti, I have some hoodies which shed small hairs of cotton onto my skin. Do these form a barrier? No, that'll be fine because they'll be permeable to water. LGHT, what do I gotta do to make you teach me iftar? LGHT, what's that new one? I don't know what that means. لغة لغة العربية. Okay. Ghazi, ahlan wa sallam alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're well. Is the Power of Dua course suitable for families to attend, young kids? How old are they? How old are they? Can we join on the Telegram group? Yes, you can. Telegram group, if you want to join. Basically, how do I? If you come onto my YouTube channel, yeah, you can get it over there. Yeah, if you go into Telegram and you go into the search bar, you search for Roots of Knowledge, you'll find it. ROK, Roots of Knowledge. Yeah, so if you go into Telegram and just search on there, there's a little search kind of magnifying glass. With this up, I have 2 children and my husband feels it's good time for the next I do to deep down, but in Bukhariya and worry that pregnancy newborn will affect studies. Any advice? I don't have any children, so I wouldn't be able to advise you the best way. I would say, look, you look at your situation. Do you think having a child at this time would be something which would affect your studies? You know best. Some pregnant women, my sister, for example, she was pregnant, mashallah, all the way until she delivered. She's fine. She could do anything, go out, in, this, that, drive a car as well. Totally fine. So I think it just depends. I would say generally, Dora is going to be quite intense, the studies. So maybe you might want to delay a bit. Just delay a bit and then inshallah. That's what I would say. Because I mean, you've come all this way, this far, and then it doesn't kind of make sense that you would compromise your studies. وعليكم السلام زوب أهلا وسهلا. What is the interpretation of وما أصابك من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم? So the interpretation, I mean the translation of it, the tafsir, yeah. So basically, what that means is any sort of bad thing that happens in your life is generally, if you kind of retrace everything that's happened, you'll find that it's human error, human sin, human activity that was the reason for this. That's what it is. Anything that have murder, theft, you'll find it was human thing. Okay, so what is it that we buy brand new but in reality is always used? Oh no, Sharif, this is one of those kind of trick philosophical questions there. What is it that we buy brand new but in reality is always used? I mean, like gold, used gold. Gold is always used gold. What do you think, guys? Walaikum assalam, Kazmataz Muhammad Mullah. I think Qibla directions would be a lot easier if the earth was flat. Sci-fi fiqh. Yeah, that would be a good one. Sci-fi fiqh series. And that'd be good, like some people like they kind of look into movies where they have a certain concept and you look from an Islamic point of view, how would that work? Does it say in the Quran the earth is in egg shape? No. I've actually made a video on this Kazmataz on if any of you guys have ever seen it. Does the Quran say the earth is flat? Yeah, it is. Read the comments, they're so funny. They are like a really funny, man. Earth flat series. Yeah. Let's just see, is this the one? There's like about almost 40,000 views on this. Yeah, so flat earth in the Quran. Okay, 8, 6, and 1. Yeah, then they might not be able to benefit that much. I think they probably are going to struggle. Yeah, they probably 8-year-old might be able to, but the others can struggle. Okay. Okay, so what was the answer to the hayd that finished in 2 days? Should she do ghusl wudu? She only has to do wudu. I read in Hashia Tahtawi on Maraqi that repeating an ayah or surah al-Fatiha in the prayer necessitates the sahu, but what about if one mispronounced a word? I read in Hashia Tahtawi on Maraqi and that repeating an ayah of surah al-Fatiha in the prayer necessitates repeating an ayah. If you got the text of it, show me the text. Imam Ibn al-Jawzi said, if the people of the grave were told, make a wish, they would have wished for just one day of Ramadan. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Wa alaikum assalam. Esbasha, ahla wa sahlan, ahla wa sahlan. I'm very good, thank you very much. Very good. Zaid, wa alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan. Sanga hal de, khairiyat de. Can you explain غير عليهم من غير المغضوب عليهم? Yeah, so alayhim is jar majroor, goes back to maghdub, muta'alliq bil maghdub. So basically in Arabic you have to say ghadiba ala. So when you make it into a majhul form, you're going to say this person is not maghdub, he's maghdub ala. Like that. Allah give you shifa, ameen. So using Urdu languages, yes. Make sure you rest up and look after yourself, ameen, inshallah. Blow dry, that's a good one. What do you plan on teaching during Ramadan for this channel? I haven't decided yet. I was thinking something to do with the Quran. How can one balance working in healthcare as well as learning deen? I feel guilty at times for working and like I have to quit and only work towards it. But I also feel the good Muslims to advance in field like healthcare, but there is a background guilty. That feeling is good, and that feeling shows you have good iman, alhamdulillah. Carry on doing what you're doing, inshallah. Yeah, remember Sahaba, nearly all Sahaba, apart from a few, were part-time studying. That's a good point, guys. Umar radiallahu anhu was a part-time studying. The irony, no training in how to communicate. Yeah. If someone hasn't paid in 2 years since it became fard upon them, what should they do about the missed zakat? Do they make it up this year? Yes. So they backdate it and make up the missed zakat. NS, is it only saliva secretions of a dog that are najis, or the wild dog when wet are on the secretions? Secretions only. All secretions, all like moisture secretions. Inshallah Ramadan ke fezda tabazu bin zarazala rasha mungsara zgari. सोच बहुकम زما د پاره لږ مشکل به زما س پروګرام دی او زما د پاره بیا راتل خو ډیره شوق مې ده ان شاء الله کېدای شي راتلونکي کال کې ان شاء الله را بشم ستاسو سره. If I normally, as Pashto guys, for those of you guys who are just bit shocked at what I was saying there. If I normally pay zakat at Saw Ramadan, should I now estimate what my surplus wealth would be around that time? Yes, so that's become your zakat anniversary now. That's when you have to work out your zakat. Does zakat have to be paid straight away on zakat day, or does it just need to be calculated on that day? The poem of Shanfara Lamiyat al-Arab, that what impresses you most about the poem? Also, what pre-Islamic? I can't remember reading Shanfara. I'll have to look it up. What impresses you more? What pre-Islamic? I think Imr al-Qais, definitely. Imr al-Qais is very nice. It's very deep. It's very sort of like the words in there are very like powerful as well. So I like Imr al-Qais. LGHT, all right. Oh, is that what it is? So does a scholar to making a proposal have to ensure that their potential spouse is aware that they are going to be involved in community and less time with it? I think that's a very good point to point out to them. Yeah, I think that's a very good. It depends, obviously. Not all scholars are interested in. Unfortunately, is that the case? But not all scholars are interested in spending too much time in teaching. I know many scholars who are not like that. They spend a lot of time with their family and doing their job. Animal hide. Mufti, any tips on public speaking? I have a university event which involves me speaking to an audience. Yeah, I'll tell you some tips. Tip number one is imagine everyone you're talking to is a guest at your house. Imagine that. Yeah. And number two is when you're talking, make sure you talk at a very slow pace like this. Like imagine you have slowed yourself down, right? And just practice that. Seriously, do these two things and your talk will be good. So when you're giving a talk, like how I speak at the moment, don't speak like that. Slow it down. Just say, everybody, listen to what I have to say. And when you talk, don't raise your, like some people when they speak, they have a high pitch at the end. Have you seen how they speak? Like they say, everybody, how are you? Is everyone fine? Do you guys need anything? Like that. Don't raise it, because if you do that, people automatically get some lack of confidence vibes from you. So, two tips. Imagine everyone is at a party at your house and you're the one that's arranged it all and you invited them. That naturally makes you more confident because it makes you feel as though you're in control. And number two is slow down your speech, like sheep wool. I don't understand your question. Sheep wool? What was your question, Zop? I'm sorry. Can you explain it? Don't see how that links in. A mirror. Mirror is good. Water, since the same stuff passed in and out of humans, dinosaurs, etc., over thousands of years. Oh, water, yeah. That's a good one. Go on. Sharif Bai's dad jokes have made a beautiful. Water is always used. Yeah, that's a good one. Except unless like newly made water. Where did the first water come from? That means all particles are used then. That's what it means. My comment above seems like I'm saying lol to Ibn Jawzi's quote. I was responding to your Oscar Asghar, but all Asghars are That's it, bro. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair, Irfan. May Allah bless you and your family and all of your efforts, and beautiful. Jazakallah khair for your kind donation. Alhamdulillah. You guys are my family. You guys mean a lot to me. And a lot of this, after Allah, I wouldn't have been able to do without you guys. Jazakallah khair for your kind, beautiful donations towards my channel. Honestly, it means a lot to me. Yeah, and mashallah, you left me speechless, guys. Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair. Irfan, may Allah bless you. I was just thinking, who would be up for a meetup in Birmingham in a restaurant before Ramadan? Who would be up for it? In Ramadan. I mean, before Ramadan. Before Ramadan. A meetup. I just want to see. I haven't really kind of decided, but I just want to see. Yeah, see what you guys say. Any curious cat questions? I forgot about those. Look at that. You guys preoccupied me with all your questions. The poor curious cats. In Ayah 7, part refers to the Jews and which part refers to Christians and why? So, in Surah Fatiha, the common translation, غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ, when they say Jews, it's not really Jews. Because Allah would have said Jews and وَلَضَّالِينَ say Christians. That's just a common sort of like people have passed down and people. مَغْضُوبَ عَلَيْهِمْ, those who Allah is angry with. And I actually did a whole course on Surah Fatiha. It was a whole day course. It's a detailed course about Surah Fatiha. Maghdub alayhim means all those Allah is angry with, the ones that the wrath is upon. That includes Iblis, it includes Fir'aun, it includes Abu Lahab, it includes the bad people from the Bani Israel, and so many others. And then the Daleen means those who have strayed, like the mushriks have strayed, many of the Christians have strayed, many of the other sort of like other people out there, Muslims, even many Muslims have strayed. Yeah, like that. So that's what it is. So let's check out Curious Cat, guys. Let's see what Curious Cat has got installed for us today. Aj kya kya sawalat hai. If a prayer mat has my name printed on it, either it's by the feet side or a sujood there, would it be disrespectful to pray on it? No. Don't pray on it. Do you take questions by email? Yes, I do, but I only respond when I have availability. Learning the at Gmail, learning at gmail.com. If you're owed money and not received it at the time of calculating your yearly zakat, do you have to pay zakat for the money owed to? Yes, but you only have to give it when you receive it back. Only when you receive it back, then you backdate all the years. Okay, at work during lunch and prayer dhuhr, is it better that I pray 4 rakats of fard peacefully or 4 sunnah and 4 peacefully? 4 fard peacefully. If I follow a Shafi Imam who does qunut after ruku and raises hands for throughout the qunut, do I join? It's better not to, but I would raise my hands as it conforms with everyone else. So I would raise my hands in that. I wouldn't see a problem. In the UK, where moon sightings are not the same as other countries, what is the best way to decide when Ramadan is? Wassalam. Best is to follow what your local mosque and community does. It's the best thing nowadays to do that, guys. If you are an editor for videos for a company, is it okay to add music or is there any alternative? What do you exactly do? Do our course. Learn about. Okay, this is done. All done. Curious, count only a few questions. Come back to YouTube. Okay. Let's put that there, guys. Okay. You guys happy? Right. Okay. When starting off learning fiqh, is Maraqi as-Sa'adat by Imam Shurumbalari better or Mukhtasar al-Quduri? Maraqi as-Sa'adat, definitely. If that's your first book you're studying. Muhammad Ikram al-Haq wa alaikum as-salam. Ahlan wa sahlan. Galaxy, do you ever feel uncomfortable doing casual things like food shopping or being with family outside due to approaches from members of the public? No, not at all. Not at all. I like meeting people. I actually like people seeing me in the community as well. I don't mind it. So I have no problem with that. What's your opinion on private alim? Private alim? What's that? Regarding the question, if repeating an ayah of Fatiha in the Salah necessitates it, وَلَوْ كَرَّ الْفَاتِحَةَ أَوْ بَعْضَهَا. So not one ayah. See, he doesn't say one ayah. He says بَعْضَهَا. So this is where the scholars differ on this. What does it mean, ba'daha? Yeah, so definitely it wouldn't be one ayah. So if a person read Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, it wouldn't necessitate sajda sahu. It would have to be a certain amount. Like some of them mention at least half of it. Yeah, they have repeated at least half of it. Did you meet with Ismail to Jannah? I haven't met him in person, but he came on our podcast. Not saying I support the man, but Hitler, when he would, good disclaimer there, approach the podium to speak, he would pause and stare. Yeah, I've actually read about that. I've heard about that. He was apparently a very, very good orator. He had a very good way of speaking to people. The thing you have to remember is the Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna min al-bayani la sihra," that indeed, like a person when they express themselves, when they speak, there's a magic in there. You can actually say the same thing in several ways and get different effects from the people. If you want to know a good TED talk on this, there's a good TED talk where a guy actually has zero content, but he gives a talk in such a way you think that at the end of it that you listen to a really good talk. It's so funny, and it's such an amazing experiment that he does. Let me see if I can find it. TED talk, William something. I don't remember his name. What was his name? TED talk where a guy talks about nothing. Oh yeah, this is the one. Will Stephen. Guys, check this out. Yeah, this is like really good. It just shows you that people don't listen to content. That most people just listen to your behavior and the way that you conduct yourself. On how to make talks. You guys, GH, you ready, yeah? Amullah, you ready, yeah? Inshallah. Maybe if you get enough guys, might do something. Can we inherit since we're a family? I got dibs on the jinn car. Oh yeah, the jinn car, yeah? Allah, we had to wait 45 minutes to kind of see what the car's going to do next. Are you going to the Badr event on 25th? Is there a Badr event? No, I've never heard about it. Who did Musa alayhi salam meet in Madian? Was it Prophet Shu'aib? They say it was Prophet Shu'aib alayhi salam, yeah. Have you been invited to by brother Paul from blogging? Yes, I have actually got a WhatsApp message today, but I just haven't got around to answering it. Yeah, so inshallah I'm gonna get back to him because I'm quite busy at the moment. So it's gonna have to be after Ramadan, inshallah. Aqib Hussein, wa alaikum salam. Hope you're well. If you're part of a congregation where it's Maghrib and you're not able to hear the Imam's qira'ah due to him being too far away, should Salah be repeated? So if you know the movements the Imam is making, as long as you perform the movements after the Imam made them, then your Salat's okay. Otherwise, repeat it. I repeated just in case I felt it was a condition to hear the Imam's qira'ah. Yeah, no, it's not a condition to hear his qira'ah. The condition is that you know the movements of the Imam. Wa alaikum assalam, Irfan Suhail, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome, welcome. What is the haqiqat of Shayb Barat, 15th of it? Is it this when all matters are decided? Let me give you a link to um, a very good article by Maulana Fazl Rahman Azami. It's translated to English, and this is a very good one. Shabi Barat Fazl Rahman. Yeah, this is it. This is very good, I would say. Maulana Fazl Rahman Azami is one of the, I would say, leading scholars in the science of hadith. Reality, 15th of Sha'ban. There you go, Irfan Sahel, one for you to read. Tell us jinn story. I want to help my confidence. Well, let me tell you, if you want to increase your confidence against the dark, then you need to get feathers, because the opposite of dark is light, and feathers are light. So technically, if you got enough feathers, there'll be no you won't have any dark. What Islamic boarding institute do you recommend in the UK? I don't know, but I've seen Blackburn, mashallah, and I'm very happy with the education there, the scholars there. But again, I can't 100% say because I haven't been through that system. Al-Lawh. Is it permissible to visit a hypnotherapist for anger management classes? Possibly. Possibly, if it's going to help you like a treatment. Private alim is when you do alim with a teacher or one-to-one rather than institute. Yes, you can do that. Totally fine. A lot of the scholars in the past studied like that. So if you have to do Jum'ah Bayan and don't know what to say, watch this for ideas. Yes, that's it. Bang on. What makes a mufti and what makes a sheikh a sheikh? Is there something? Sheikh is just a term used for respect. It's just a generic term used for respect for someone elder in Arab countries and for just anyone who's done a certain level of scholarship. Mufti is someone who's specifically specialized in answering fatwas. That's like a specific, yeah. So every mufti is a sheikh, but not every sheikh is a mufti. Stephen, what? This is not kalam according to the grammarians. Ya fadilat sheikh. So far, Sheikh Zahir Mahmoud doing talk. Oh, yeah, he's doing a talk. Oh, I thought you meant Badr restaurant. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Badr restaurant. Yeah, I'll be there, inshallah. Inshallah, I'm going to be there at Sofa Badr 313. Not that 313 club. Would you consider studying another madhab's fiqh formally, and do you take opinions from? Yes, I would definitely wouldn't mind studying another fiqh. Yeah, I do take opinions from other fiqhs when there's a need. Shots fired. If two people praying together and the one leading recites aloud for dhuhr, is their prayer valid? Yes, the prayer is valid, but the imam should do sajda sahu. I thought you were saying Badr restaurant, guys. You know what I'm saying? I was like thinking, yo, what's this Badr restaurant? We are more important company. It's true. It's true. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I am gonna finish it there, guys. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much for all your kind donations. Mullah and Ryan and Irfan. Jazakallah khair for all your beautiful donations. May Allah bless all of you and keep you guys in a state of healthy iman and safeguard you from all fitnas and hardship. You know what? My teacher used to make this dua for me a lot. He used to say to me, may Allah save you from fitnas. And now I realize how important that dua is. Sometimes you can get caught up in a debate or you can get caught up in something so frivolous that it just wastes so much of your time. So, subhanallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Suhaib. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan from London, my brother. My brother from London. You're from London, yeah? All right, guys, I'm from London as well. You know, sometimes when you hang around with London guys too long and your accent starts to change a bit of London, you know, you sound like a bit of London, and then you can't want to see that Brummy accent. What if they didn't do Sajda Sahwi? Yeah, Salat will be done, but it would be ideal to repeat it if there's time. And if there's no time, then you don't repeat it. Like if you're still in the time of Zuhur, then you repeat it. Otherwise, you don't repeat it. Right, guys. I finished, guys. MashaAllah, South London, yeah. All right. I would praise London, but I'm not going to praise London because the car drivers in London are just crazy, man. Crazy car drivers. But the people are good. Right, guys. So, Jazakumullah khair, guys. Again, thank you very much for a wonderful, beautiful evening. May Allah bless all of you guys. I will be going. Actually, let me tell you guys about the dua course here. So, what books did I use for the dua course? So, one of the books that I used, which I benefited a lot from, is a book called Sha'nul Dua by Al-Imam Al-Khattabi. Sha'nul Dua by Al-Khattabi. Okay, so this is a very good book. It's a new book I came across. It's very sort of like, it's one of the earliest books written on dua, so it kind of has the main sort of discussions that a lot of other books have borrowed. Then there's Dua by Imam Tabarani, and I remember using this book when I was in my study days, answering a specific fatwa in regards to wiping the face after dua. It was a long fatwa that I wrote on there. I think it was 49 pages altogether, like very, very long. So I used that. So this was I kind of used sections from that. And then third, I think the third one that was beneficial was Dua book or section of Dua by Imam Ghazali, Ihya Ulumuddin. It's got a section on Dua. The fourth one, now these are all besides the Hadith books. Okay, so obviously Bukhari and Tirmidhi, I use that, and some of the commentaries as well. But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about Dua books based on Dua. And then a Dua Amal Yawm al-Layla by Ibn Sunni. So Amal Yawm al-Layla by Ibn Sunni. It's a big dua book, and it's got like lots of discussions on duas. And then after that, Al-Adhkar al-Nawawi, which is a 1-volume book, very nice book. So I always recommend this to my students. But they got a section on dua in there, which is very beautiful. And then the commentary of that Futuhat al-Rabbaniya is very good. Futuhat al-Rabbaniya it's like a 7-volume work that is like very, very big. So that's like a long work that is. And then you got Imam after that Imam Zarkashi. So you got Zarkashi, he's got a book on dua as well. And then you've got Adab al-Dua by Imam Maqdisi. That was a very good book. So these are the books I went through cover to cover. Then you got Tuhfatul Abrar by Imam Shawkani. And then he's got a Risala on Qadr and Dua. That was a very good book as well. I didn't read all of Tuhfatul Abrar, it's just the section that I needed, because the rest of it was discussions I don't really need for this course. So that was a good. And also, which other ones? Dua. Yeah, those are the ones on the top of my head I can think of. I'm trying to think, was there any other one that I sort of dipped in? See, the problem with me is when I'm looking for books, sometimes I come across a really good book and then I get so interested in reading that book. I'll read that quarter of it and I realize, oh, I don't need to read this book. This book is deviating me from my path. So I'll put that book down. Okay, what other books? Yeah. So these are some of the books. Besides that, there are some other books, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, because I didn't read all of them. I just read certain sections of them. Barakallah feekum, shukran jazeelan. Give us advice for the week. Your advice for the week, my fellow brothers and sisters, is make most of your time on earth. One of my friends' mom passed away a few days ago. All of a sudden passed away, and I was sitting with him in the tazia, and he just said, like, you don't even realize how much time you should spend with your parents until they go. Like, you don't even think about how much like conscious time you should spend with your parents. And he was like taking care of his mom in the last days of her life, and she was healthy and everything. May Allah give her Jannatul Firdaus. But yeah, he was really upset. Monar Rizwan, you guys know Monar Rizwan Mustafa? His mom passed away. He came on the podcast once, the 3 Dates podcast. Barakallah fikum. Ahla wa sahlan Sharif. Muhammad, give us a Jazakallah khair. You're welcome, Galaxy. Irfan B. Jazakallah khair. Ahla wa sahlan. Post the books you used on Telegram. Inshallah, I will post them. Definitely. Would a smiley emoji count as sadaqah? Of course. Anything that would make your Muslim brother happy inside is a sadaqah. Book review. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Yes. Book review. I will tell you a book review. Which book review shall I review? Let me see. Let me see. Ya Allah. Okay, this book. This is a book, a nice book. The writing's worn off. But this is a book which I basically got from my friend. Yeah, he gifted it to me, and he actually is written. I don't know why he's written it for. Yeah, he gifted this to me. هدية إلى الأخ العزيز لياقة زمان داعي من الله تعالى أن يحفظه من كل بلاء ويدخله الجنة الفردوس العالية بجوار الحبيب المصطفى آمين يا رب العالمين. So he was a Tunisian student and he gifted me this book. Can you see the date on there? He's even put the date, Islamic date. That's when he gifted it to me. This book is basically the tough words in the Quran. It's like a small dictionary you keep in your pocket. So if you're reading Quran, you can kind of benefit from like understanding. So for example, like this, it's like this. It's in Arabic. So this is like very good for also Arabic speakers. Can you see like that? It's got like an Arabic word in the Quranic word in right Arabic in the red, and then it's got the Arabic explanation. So it's very short. It's very short, very nice. Someone who's learning Arabic, it really helps them, I think, very because like when you're reading Quran and you just want to find out what one word means, sometimes you go to an English translation. But if you're learning Arabic, this is really good because it forces you to think in Arabic. No, khuf review. Oh yeah, I got your khuf reviews. So I've got these khufs on, yeah. Let me show you guys. I got these khufs on. These are my khufs. Okay, these are some khufs I bought. I don't really like them too much. These are not like the nice khufs. Right, these are from a company called I don't even know what they're called. Get Dressed. They're called Get Dressed. Yeah, but they're a bit like tight on my foot. Maybe the size is like that. Maybe I don't know. I should have got a bigger size, but they're a bit tight and they're a bit kind of like muggy feeling when you wear them for a long time. Muggy. So these ones, I personally don't really like them too much. I like the ones that I put up on the Telegram. Deck shell ones. Deck shells are nice and comfortable, and you can walk in them nice and breathable as well. I will show you what I think I might do is I'm going to buy a few of them, and then I just show you like a cross section of them. What dua book would you recommend for students of knowledge? I would definitely recommend something like Azkar of Nawawi is a good one to start off with. It's a bit advanced, but you'll force yourself into it. I've started reading Imam Ghazali's Inner Dimensions of Worship. How are you finding it? Beautiful, yeah? Good. Give us some gems, bro. Have you read any of Saeed Nusri's books? No, I haven't. I've come across them, but I haven't really had chance to read them. Wa alaikum assalam, Bima. Ahla wa sahlan. Welcome. Ahla wa sahlan. 3 people I'm watching. Ahla wa sahlan. Trolla. Salam Mufti Saab. Which scholars from London are you close with? Also, please come London and bless us with you. Inshallah. So, Sheikh Shams al-Duha, Sheikh Mujahid Ali, Sheikh Hassan Ali, Sheikh Abdullah Hassan. It's quite a few. We enjoy your company, Ustad. Please keep asking, even though you said goodbye 10 minutes. Hamza, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Are the 1,000 mile socks suitable for Masa? 1,000 mile socks? Wow. Does that mean you can walk 1,000 miles in them? If you send me a link for them, inshallah, and then I can check them out, inshallah. Oh, by the way, I've got a talk in Hamza Webb's Mosque, inshallah, not next week, week after next. I'll be in Wolverhampton, guys. So Wolverhampton people, get ready. I'm doing a talk on is it Ramadan? Yeah, I'm going to eat a chicken cheese steak. Don't tell me, bro. Yeah, you know what? I'm dying to eat Philly steak burger. Daki socks good though. Yeah, Daki socks are okay. Yeah, I got some Daki. I bought some Daki ones as well. They're good as well. They're better than these ones. But I like the Dex shell ones are nice. HVC, alaikum assalam. I hope you're well. I'll be doing Dora, either Banuri Town or Darul Uloom. Any suggestions? Chooses between the two. I think I did it in Banuri Town, so I think Banuri Town is going to be the better for me. But if you can get into Darul Uloom, I think it would be better. Both are fine though. Both are fine. The thing is, Darul Uloom, you're going to have more access to books. You're going to have access to benefit from Mufti Taqi Usmani. And I think those are the kind of things that you want to try and get. Definitely. May I ask, is this a regular session you have? I've come across the session accidentally. Yes, I have it on every Saturday at 9:45 UK time. Like button, guys. Hit the like button. Brum and Wolverhampton people, friends, yeah? Yes. Masjid Hamza in Mosley. No. In Wolverhampton, Masjid Waterloo Mosque, Masjid Aqsa. How do you wash them? Mine shrink after wash. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to wash them by hand. And you got to be careful of not using too hot water. In one part, he mentions how the Sahaba used to go pale upon hearing the adhan. When asked about, they replied that they are about to meet their Lord. So, should they not be wary of how they approach Subhanallah? Ajib, Allahu Akbar. Inshallah, Ustad, yeah, the virtues of Fiqh of Ramadan. Inshallah, 18th of March, Masjid Aqsa, Wolverhampton, Maghrib, Isha, with a question and answer. Inshallah, my brother. You know what I like? Guess what, guys? You know, by this mosque that he's got, there's a butchers there called Malik Butchers, and they have yum. They have Philly burger as well. They have Wagyu burger, Wagyu beef burger, guys. Trust me, that is so nice. I could have a Wagyu burger now without blink of an eye. I always wear socks, then wear the khufs. I see. That's an interesting combination. You're welcome, Suhaib. In your opinion, what books do you think it must read for non-scholar layman? I think Quran, first of all. Quran, and then a Sirah book, and then something like Riyadh al-Salihin. I think that is something good for people to read. And read a book called Muhammad Asad's book. What is it called? Road to Makkah. Ustad, see you tomorrow, inshallah. Mo Rafiq, my bro. I will see you tomorrow, man, inshallah. Make dua, guys. My brother Mo Rafiq is opening up a new dessert shop, inshallah. May Allah put barakah into it and put khair and make it a means of success for them and khair for the families as well. Do you estimate HFA meat? Do I eat it, you mean? I mean, I wouldn't see a problem with it. Script for Sheikh. আমার সকল বাঙালি ভাই और মই আমার channel follow করো দোয়া হইরো আমার লাগে. Did I have the accent there? Was the accent on par? Do you eat HFA? Yes. Wash it all down with ginger drink. That's it, bro. That's it. You got the combination there, bro. You know what? That ginger drink. Trust me, guys. You don't know how crazy I am about ginger drink. I don't like beef, no beef. I pass by saying, bro, look, brother Muhammad, please, yeah, do not, if ever you do doubt for me, do not prohibit beef on the table. Can you do it? Salam, shout out for my Paradise Halal Butchers in Turnpike Lane, best halal butchers. Shout out to Paradise Halal Butchers in Turnpike Lane, guys. Check it out. Inshallah, if I'm in London, I will come there as well, inshallah. What do they do there? Their only one real Wagyu beef is called Kobe or Wagyu beef, or others are copies, most likely Australian. I need to try. I think I need to try. I need to go to Japan, inshallah, and check out. Where's the shop and what's it called? Shop is called Malik Butchers. Malik Butchers. They have a little hut outside where they make the. Huzaifa wa alaikum assalam. When we say that the place of prayer and clothes for prayer must be tahir, what does this mean? Is it dust or najasa? Najasa. Yeah, as long as it's free from najasa. When you say Philly cheese, it lets it out, and they the tourists just cheesesteak, and your resident they come in lamb. Allahu Akbar. Sharif, bro, you're making my mouth water. I got a little bit of cold tea left. Wagwan. That's where it comes from. So HFA, I'm pretty sure, allows stunned meat and machinery slaughter. So I've actually asked people who actually know more about HFA, and they say the stunning is only a light stunning. It's not to kill. It's just stunning to. So it's very, very light, and they don't stun the meat. Yeah, they don't stun the meat. You know when they say stunning meat, it's basically when they shoot the head in it. Have you ever seen it? So I've got a friend who actually is into all this, and he told me all about it, how these things work. So when I explained it to me, I was satisfied with it. Jazakallah khair for time. And may Allah bless you. Ameen. Jazakallah khair, Suhaib. All right, guys. Take care, inshallah. I will see you guys next time. I'm going to go get some rest. And inshallah, have a wonderful week. Yeah, have a beautiful week. Have some nice Philly steaks. Tell us a life story. Did you know meat from New Zealand is halal? I kind of knew it from before, you know. Yeah, and a lot of see, I've got my sister's husband is a butcher, and he was telling me a lot of background story about the butcher. About he says a lot of meat that goes to Spain is actually halal. A lot of people don't know that. But what happens is it's easier for them to get halal meat. It's easier for them to get and distribute it because there's more people in the Arab world who will eat halal meat. So that's why in New Zealand the red meat, lamb especially, is mostly halal. Life story. Okay, let me tell you a life story. Yeah, let me tell you a life story. Let me think. Okay, life story. Yeah, right. Life story. Okay, so one of my life stories is this. Don't ever think that something that happens in your life ever happened coincidentally. Every single thing in your life has been detailed planned. Every single little thing that happens in your life is detailed planned. There was a guy, yeah, I'll give you a story. When I was in Pakistan, there was a guy, he was a Mulana from England, and I got to know him. And so, long kind of story. He one day wanted to borrow some of my books, so I studied by this teacher. I'm not telling you guys, I studied by Sheikh Thaqib for about 7-8 years privately. So he wanted to meet him, so I took him. We met him. Then he got to know more, and then he wanted notes that I made from his lessons, so I gave him my notes. And then what happened was, so this guy basically, he's taken my notes, and I've kind of forgotten about my notes. There were like loads of books, maybe about registers. There were about maybe 6 or 7 registers, right, like large A4 kind of books. He's gone, and then this guy from his same madrasa, he's an Arab guy, and he met me one day, and he said to me, "Are you Liaquat?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know, in our madrasa, we've got these books that guy left, and it's got your name on there. And I've always been thinking, whose books are these?" So he goes, "I'll bring them for you next time." So he went and he brought them, and the guy like had literally torn them apart because he wanted to photocopy them. So unfortunately, the books were in a very bad state, but alhamdulillah, they're readable. But luckily, I like that guy randomly just met me, and then he said, "Are you Liaquat?" And then how it all kind of fitted together. I got my books back. So never ever think in your life something randomly happens. I've seen this a lot happen. Sometimes I might read something, I'm thinking, well, why did I read this for? And then like a few weeks later, someone will ask a question about that particular thing, and I'll remember, oh yeah, I read this over there. So in life, never ever take things for granted. Things will coincidence are never coincidental. There's always a reason behind them, and you'll find out later. Assalamu alaikum salam. Would there be Arabic term for life story? Qissatul Hayat. I think it'll be like a modern translation. Qissatul Hayat. Sira. Classically, they would just say Sira. Siratu. Qissatul Hayat. All right, guys. So, Jazakallah khair. Life stories are over. And have a wonderful week, guys. Take care of yourselves. And inshallah, make dua for the dua course as well. The dua course needs duas, guys. And if you can attend as well. And I would love to meet you guys, inshallah, next Saturday. And oh yeah, and next Saturday I've also got a talk in the evening in a Duha Institute. Yeah, so it's a rampacked day next Saturday. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.